Breakfast.
Were they talking about somebody who stole somebody's chicken?
Movie. I mean, it's what happens in his neighborhood. Yeah, we're all inclusive.
Oh,
every problem, bring it here. We'll sort it out.
I like that.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. Also joined by Dr. Bonnie Halwale. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
After a brief hiatus, she's back. She's an active citizen, as many people know her online. Jared say, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
A story that even if you wanted to avoid seems impossible as of now. On every front page of the dailies this morning, MPs carrying it out over Ruto. That's the headline we have on the PD. Going for the kill is what's on the Daily Nation. Let's start from there. This started off as what seemed as an idle threat from Senator Orengo, and people said this is not the first time he's done this before. We've heard him saying that he's going to call for impeachment of the DP. But here we are, Gabriel. Might this now get to the floor of the House?
It still remains an
It's still theatrics from where you stand.
It remains an idle threat. This is just thumping if you look at it. And it's true, I mean, we've had this before. I mean, things about impeaching the president, impeaching the deputy president, this is something that has always been said. It's been in parliament. But you know, it's more tricky than it sounds. Saying you're going to be impeached, it's very tricky. You just saw the impeachment of Governor K24 the other day, or the former governor of Kiambu, let us put it that way. Right. That has a lot of intrigues, you know, before it moves to the Senate. It's not that it cannot be done. I mean, the Constitution provides these articles and clauses of how to impeach and successfully remove a sitting deputy president and as well as sitting presidents. Articles 150, you know, will give you the analogy of what you need and how many members of parliament are required. Same way, you know, guided by Articles 145 of the Constitution also gives you a guidance of how to impeach and remove a president. But it is actually a hard thing. You need about 233 MPs. Right. To actually successfully move that bill to the Senate. You need 115 MPs to just endorse that motion in Parliament. It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. I believe that's why the Constitution was designed. Right. It's not just something you can wake up and decide, oh, you know what, you need to remove a president. No, it's not that easy. And that is why it is captured as to how you can go about doing that exercise. You know, it talks about a candidate, whether it's a deputy president or the president, who is almost nearly incapacitated to be able to run the office. You know, you talk about mental illness, gross violation of the Constitution, you know, is named. So, you know, just to bring down into it, I felt it was, yesterday was a lot of high drama, a lot of just thumping, but I highly doubt it will go past
this particular point. Let me get to Dr. Halwale as well, because even as we're talking about the front page of the Daily Nation, I could hear him chuckle as he talked about Tanga threatening Uhuru with Ndongo report, calling it for its implementation before any constitutional changes. Gabriel says that this is just thumping. This is as far as it goes. We don't see this getting to the floor of the House. What's your take? Because I'm sure you've been talking to members of the party as well. How far does this go?
I think people need to remember the history of James Orengo. James Orengo is one of the longest-serving members of parliament in this republic, and he has never, ever moved a motion of impeachment successfully. He has repeatedly used impeachment motions to play politics, and I speak as a man who has twice moved motions of removing officers from office, twice successfully. He uses it to push political agenda for his party and his party leader. As he spoke to members of the public who might not be too keen or too clear about what my brothers just talked about the thresholds in in terms of the number of MPs required and so on, he knew very well that those members of the public he was speaking to have no idea that the Senate can never, ever move an impeachment motion. So when he tells the people in the funeral that I'm going to personally make sure that I move a motion, as who? Right. Moving an impeachment motion is the responsibility of the National Assembly. It is only after the National Assembly has successfully made a recommendation for removal that it finds its way into the Senate. And it should worry the party leader of ODM that when he comes out with force the way he attempted yesterday, he comes with only 70 MPs. 70 MPs are not even enough to give leave to the House for the process to start. So he's way below the prerequisite numbers in the National Assembly. So basically what he is doing is he's keeping the Deputy President and his corner busy and worried so that they don't remain focused. As you can see, and I'm sorry to say this, there is no government business going on in this country. Zero. If you tell me that with the kind of noise you're hearing, with the kind of verbal exchange between a minister and the Deputy President, can the same day be accompanied with government business in the office of that minister, you're lying to me. So he has kept the president busy with BBI, and because the Deputy President had brushed off the issue of BBI and he was pushing the development agenda, he wants to keep him busy with these things of I'll remove you, oh, you have dirty money, oh, you are corrupt, oh, you are involved in arms deals, oh, you have killed your cop. You know, he just wants to keep him busy.
Let me get to Jero on this because he's brought in a very important issue, and this is in terms of service delivery. One of the things they're talking about, as they say they're going to go for the impeachment, is the fact that the DP's presidential ambitions for 2022 have clouded his execution of his role. This is a question that has been asked over and over again. We know he's a principal assistant to the president. What is his role, though?
Well, it's very interesting for me because if he is the assistant to the president, but effectively closed out or shut out of most activities and operations by omission and commission, then what are we saying? You cannot block the deputy president from doing his work and then turn around and say that he's not doing his work. In fact, it is how the Tanga expression came about, if I'm not mistaken, that they said, oh, Ana Tanga, he's going around doing this and that and the other. And I remember the deputy president, of whom I'm no fan, being very clear about the fact that he's doing his work. What I think is that I've never met or seen or heard of a more strategically stupid group than the Kieleweke ODM bunch. I have never seen a group that is so willing to lionize their opponent the way they're doing. They are lionizing Deputy President William Ruto. And all of this hot air about impeachment. What if, let's even suspend our disbelief for a moment, brothers, and say, what if it even got there? And they lost. That will be the beginning of the lame duck presidency of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And it means that all the presidential ambitions that Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga might have will already be lame ducked along with President Uhuru. So I just do not understand who is advising Kieleweke and ODM. And if it is Senator James Orengo, they need to start listening to other people. So I look at it and I say, there's so many things. You see this family that failed to raise 13 million and the child is in the morgue and died. There are so many things that need to be happening in this country. But we are caught in this merry-go-round, this endless merry-go-round. And even those of us who are not in the Tanga or Kieleweke camp, because I'm not in any of those camps, spotted BBI for what it was a long time ago, and it has cascaded. It's like a snowball that's forming this avalanche that is there to distract Kenyans from the real business of service that should be provided to Kenyans. So we're going to continue with the theatrics. We will. I don't think impeachment will ever see the light of day, but every day, the deputy president and his camp continues to be emboldened. So we are setting the stage. And don't forget, this is the last budget reading for President Uhuru Kenyatta. Really, the lame duck presidency begins because there'll be the budget reading this year, and then next year, even when the budget is read, will he be there to finish its implementation? No. Right. So I look and I say, we are stuck as a country. We are paralyzed. We are gripped in this craze around BBI, the Kieleweke, Tanga, fighting each other. And I want to ask Kenyans, have we run out of ideas in terms of who is capable of leading this country? We have been corralled into this space where we are told it's going to be a dead heat between so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. What about other people? What about other ways that Kenyans can envision themselves being led? But we are stuck. It is Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, it's Deputy President William Ruto, and then all the sidekicks who are hoping to get a piece of the pie, and they're hedging their bets. And also the other thing I would say is all those people that Kieleweke and ODM claim to have, might secretly be hedging their bets with the deputy president because they're trying to see who's weaker, who's stronger.
Right, so right now...
The jury is out. There's dissent. In fact, I was looking at a list that was provided in a group that I'm a part of, and in brackets next to some legislators, I would say, Huyo will flip. This one will flip. Right. That one will flip. That one can be paid off, and so on and so forth. So here we are, stuck. The real business of this country is not being addressed, while people are competing with press conferences, counting numbers to see who was more preeminent. So it is a hot mess, and we're spectators, and really this disappoints me because this is not taking our country anywhere. Let's
talk about those pressers that happened yesterday. Of course, it was quite an afternoon of chest thumping and grandstanding between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto, and this played out in public as MPs allied to the president held a press briefing calling on Ruto to resign from government and focus on its presidential campaigns. In response, Ruto's camp convened a separate news conference where they dared the president to dissolve government and call for fresh elections. Apollo Kamau had that story.
In a bare-knuckled exchange that has exposed the bad blood between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto, further widening the rift within the Jubilee Party support base and threatening the Jubilee administration's survival. MPs allied to the president and ODM party leader Raila Odinga marshaled their numbers to demand for the deputy president's resignation from government, accusing him of disrespecting the president, of gross misconduct and violation of his oath of office.
We feel that William Ruto must shape up or ship out. He needs time and undivided attention to pursue the only thing and ambition that makes sense to him and meaning in his life, which is to dream and campaign for his 2022 presidential whatever.
These attacks have now peaked with the creation of a team directly loyal to the deputy president within the ruling party, with the objective of eroding the prestige and honor of the President of the Republic of Kenya and the leader of his party, and to fight the government from within.
Yet, allies of the deputy president would not take the demands lying down. They too pulled a show in parliament, daring the president to dissolve government, the latest exchanges lifting the lid on a cold war that has been simmering for months. This comes against a backdrop of a plot to impeach the deputy president, which Ruto's allies say they are ready to counter.
Take it from me that William Ruto is not resigning because he is not anybody's appointee. Yes. He was elected on the ballot.
Yes. ODM strategy was always about nusu mkate government. We are now aware that there is another meeting tomorrow to bring impeachment motion against the deputy president and get him out of office so that Raila can get a position in government.
Bring it on. Tuko tayari kwa uchaguzi. Tuko tayari serikali ivunjwe. Yes. Tuko tayari kwenda kwa debe. Yes. We enjoy 80% of the support of Kenyans.
In their accusations against the deputy president, MPs allied to Kenyatta and Odinga list a number of corruption scandals, ghost projects, clashes with civil servants and government institutions. All this, they say, in his relentless pursuit for the presidency.
That of late, the deputy president has conducted himself in a manner in which borders on disrespect to the presidency.
In these circumstances, Santa cannot hold, in quotes, unless appropriate action is taken.
Back in Parliament, Ruto's allies accused Odinga of hijacking the BBI process and using it in an attempt to ascend to power, while faulting the president for allegedly isolating his deputy.
From the time Uhuru was MP up to now, Ruto has not only been his loyal friend, but also a committed supporter. Anyone questioning DP Ruto's loyalty to the President Kenyatta is not only dishonest, but also evil.
With an impending impeachment vote against the deputy president, Uhuru Ruto's political marriage is facing its biggest test. Question is, who will blink first? Apul Kamau.
A story filed by Apollo Kamau yesterday as far as the chest stamping that happened yesterday. Quite a heated political afternoon in terms of the pressers right there. But as the story was rolling, Jero was chomping at the bit as they did their presser.
You know, I was very surprised. I said, you mean these are our MPs and our senators? Because for them, for some of them, this presser was their maiden speech. So instead of...
They've never spoken on the floor of the House?
Exactly. So what are they doing? Busy running behind and threatening impeachment instead of contributing in the House. If they're as eloquent as they sounded, can they please turn around and do the work that we as taxpayers are paying them to do? The last comment. When they talk about the Deputy President quitting for disrespect or whatever, actually, the entire government should quit for non-performance, for egregious mismanagement of national resources. What do you mean impeach for disrespect? What is that? So if I say, I don't like your tie, you're going to now get... Are we in a school playground? They're reducing themselves to the age of children who are in kindergarten. I don't like you, you said something bad, you're being disrespectful, you must go. If we're going to move an impeachment motion, can it be for something extremely serious? Right. For heaven's sake, Wakenya.
Right. Bonnie, I'll come to you on this as well, because, and that's a key question people are having here, because fine, it can go to an impeachment, but what exactly are the grounds for this, other than having ambitions for 2022 and apparently disrespecting the president? And even from that, we don't really know exactly how.
2 times, the party leader of ODM has been invited to the United States Democratic Party Convention. And I have reason, therefore, to think that he has good contacts with that party. He should take very good lessons from what happened in the US in the impeachment of Donald Trump. They actually got Donald Trump re-elected because they attempted to remove him from office over nothing. Now, if this one proceeds, it is in the interest of the party leader of ODM to ask the MPs to run away from that thought. Because the moment they move on it and the deputy president wins, that will be confirming that the guy is going to be president in 2022. Looking at the presser, it's very interesting. We've always repeatedly told people that ANC has joined ODM, and Wiper has joined ODM. Not many people have been listening to us. But if you look at this presser, you can clearly see that it is a presser of ODM, but nicely joined by Wiper and ANC. You also see something very interesting in this picture, the power of the social media. There is a guy who likes attention in Parliament called Senator Olekina. He would have spoken at yesterday's press conference. But if you look at this photograph, he's hiding at the back. Yes, the social media has brought him collective shame out of the irresponsible things he said in Narok. Now he's hiding from the cameras. So I would like to urge social media to keep on putting pressure on our leaders. Okay,
we're going to take a short break and then I'll get Gabriel's point of view on this right after the break as we talk about that. And also, yesterday, Health CS talking about coronavirus. Kenya won't evacuate stranded students from China, talking about what they're going to do as far as that's concerned, and also what they're doing within our borders. We discuss that as well after the break.